Hi, my name is Jared He, and for my computer science final project, I made a tournament bracket generator. This program is useful for creating brackets. So that's used to run tournaments like sports tournaments, soccer, hockey, even video games, um, where you need to know which participant plays who. So if we run it here, it says to enter the number of participants, so you can enter 2 participants, 4, 8, 16, or 32. Let's say we press 8 here. Here you're given the option to pick a seeding option. So if you were to press, participants are ordered by seed, and I enter 8 participants, let's say it's like the FIFA World Cup or something. So there I have 8 countries. Then France would be seed number 1, Brazil would be seed number 2, and Argentina would be seed number 8. So the strongest player would play the weakest player, France would play Argentina, Brazil would play United States, etc. If I were to randomize it, then the teams will play each other in a random fashion. If I press do not use seeds, France would play Brazil, Germany would play Italy, etc. So we can see that in action here. So France plays Argentina, and Brazil plays the United States. This is the correct seeding order. So I can actually generate this bracket. So if France were to play Argentina, let's say, France beat Argentina 2-0, and England beat Italy. I don't know, Brazil beat the US, Germany beat Russia. If, for example, you messed up and Russia actually beat Germany like 3-2 or something, then that would change. I'll say Brazil won. If, for example, I made a mistake early on, let's say Argentina actually won, I can change that score to like 3-1, and then I would have to set these scores again. I can return to the menu, and the option that I chose here, as well as my participants, are all saved. There's also error checking here, so if I don't enter anything, then I get that. If, for example, I enter too few, it says you still need to enter 4 participants. If I enter too many, then it says you've entered too many participants. If I don't select any of these, it's going to give me an error. I'll just show you randomized seeds, so the teams will play each other in a random fashion, and I can set those scores. If the score is tied, you won't get a winner, because in single elimination brackets there's always a winner for each game, right? In soccer, if the teams are tied, well, the teams can't tie because they go to a penalty shootout. Yeah, and I can, if I press quit, it prompts me, are you sure you want to quit? No, I can cancel, and do not use seeds. That'll just generate games in order. I can actually save the participants. So, but before we do that, I want to show you for 16. So I have some teams saved here. And then that'll generate a bracket for 16, and it works for the other options too. Let's say we have one for 4. I don't know, friends. And then you can generate the games here. You can save these participants here to your computer. And you can also open the file. And you could actually also edit the participants from here. There you go. Those pop up. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.
When the program first gets started up, the LCD displays temperature and the date, and then using the joystick you can scroll through the different options to see other things like the time. And all the way at the bottom you go and it shows all the alarms set. There's none set right now, so you can go and set one. And you can cancel the saying alarm by just pressing now, and then we'll go in and set one. Could change the hour. Set one for then when you click OK, it confirms whether or not you want to do it. Yes, so it shows it was added. So now you can see that alarm has been added. For 11:52. Time is 11:50 right now. You can hit clear alarms, and it'll clear all of them. So now you can see there's none set anymore. We'll add. We'll add two more, one for next year. And we'll add another one for, see, just hit now and then. Turn it up, okay. And add that one for 2 minutes. So I can go check the alarms. They're both added. And here we'll click and we can delete
Hello, my name is Rizel. I am from Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada, and this is my computer science internal assessment. Pressing start, we are brought to the main JFrame with different options. Each of these options are quick little activities that can be viewed. The buttons are purposely unlabeled to give the element of surprise to the user. Starting with button 1, we are then brought to a new JFrame. The activity of this button is to look at dogs, which is always fun. So we can press any one of these buttons and receive a different dog photo. Leaving this JFrame, we are then brought back to the main JFrame. The next button gives pickup lines each time the button is pressed. Most of these pickup lines are super cheesy and random. I used random numbers which will in turn display the corresponding pickup line. So looking over to the code, you are able to see all the pickup lines I've created or seen. Then if you scroll down, you are able to see how the corresponding pickup line then gets displayed. The next button is simple. It just says press the button but does nothing except change the text on the button. I thought it would be fun to include a button that does nothing. Then the text changes from press me to do not press me. And that's it for that button. The last button is a series of thoughts or questions to think about. Same as the pickup line button, this uses random numbers also and outputs the corresponding thought/question. So again, looking back at the code, it's similar to the pickup line button. This is where all the thoughts/questions I have come up with are displayed, and this is how the corresponding thought/question gets displayed. So lastly, the exit button. After pressing it, a message dialog will appear, then stops the program. Thank you for taking time to watch my completed project. Have a good day.
Hello, my name is Chelsea Bosler from Winnipeg, Canada, and today I'll be showing you the product that I made, as well as some pieces of code that help my project to function the way it does. So I'm going to start off by pressing the play button here, and as you can see, this first JFrame appears, called the seating chart generator, seat generator, and with that, I have an AWT list object that appears, as well as 4 J buttons, a set of instructions, a J text field object, a J button, and of course the final J button here. Now, I'm going to start off by writing my name into the text field object, and I have the choice of either pressing the Enter key on my keyboard or by clicking it here to add the item to the list. Now, once I had pressed that button there, whatever was written here in the text field object is deleted. So I'm going to show that again. Start by pressing the Enter key. Whatever was written here is deleted and added to the list object. Now, I have 4 J buttons here that will all affect my list object in a different way. So I have the Select All J button here. Before I get into that, I'm going to write my name out a few more times, just so it's a little clearer as to what's going on. Great. Okay, so going back to the Select All J button here, by pressing it, it selects every item that I submitted in this JList, sorry, not JList, in this AWT list object. Now I also have the option here to press the deselect all J button, which deselects any selected names, whether it's manual or selected all, or even just one selected item from the list. Deselect all button does. It gets rid of whatever is already selected, and doesn't work if nothing is selected. We then have the remove name button here. That doesn't work unless an item or more has been selected from the list object. So I've written my name out a couple times here, and I'm just going to go forth and delete 4 of those. This works by pressing the remove name button, and all the selected items that I had picked manually are now gone from the list. Now I'm going to go back and add my name a few times to show off what that last J button there does. Okay. Here we have the remove all J button. Remove all J button doesn't require a selection to be made from the list, and will remove every item from the list without a selection being made in the first place. So as you can see here, I haven't selected an item. No item here on the list has been selected. By pressing the remove all button, every single item is then deleted. Okay, so now I'm going to take the time to pause the video and add 35 names to the list object. Hello again. I have just finished submitting all the names I wanted to the list object here, and I have submitted 35 names in total. By pressing the enter key here after writing Mabel in the text field, this error dialog message appears in the form of a J option pane and states that I can't have this many people in this classroom. I'm asked to either delete a name, start over, or remove a name from the list. I, however, am happy with all of these names, so I'm going to go forward and press the Generate Seating Charts button, which opens this J option pane dialog prompt with all the names that I inserted before there, returned as a string array. And since I am happy with this arrangement, I'm going to press the Yes option. I am then presented with this, which asks what semester I'm making this plan for. And since I'm in semester 2, I'm going to go forward and press semester 2 as my option. Once I've done that, a second J-frame appears with a model of the teacher's classroom, 35 desks, in all. By pressing the Chart 1 J button here at the bottom, the semester that I had picked appears here at the top, as well as the date that the seating plan is meant to be set for. And for the first Chart J button, every time you press it, it's always going to sort the string array of names into alphabetical order, with the A's being farthest right from the teacher's desk, and letters closest to Z being farthest away from the teacher's desk at the left column side here at the bottom, or at the back of the classroom. So now I'm going to go forward and press the Chart 2J button here, and the names here are sorted randomly, with following the condition that a student cannot sit in the same place as they did in the Chart 1 diagram. As you may have noticed, the month has changed, being the second month of the semester. And with that, I can go on to press the Chart 3J button here. This does the same thing as the Chart 2J button by randomizing names, following the same condition that I previously mentioned. Only thing that really changes is that students are randomized in different spots, and that the months, or the range that's sent for is for April, May, June, and that's how long these students are going to sit here in these spots for. Now let's say I'm going to go back to Chart 2, and I was unhappy with the arrangement before. I'm asked if I would like to randomize those names again. In this case, yes I would, and it's a different arrangement before. This is evident again if I want to press the same button, say I'm unhappy with this arrangement, by pressing yes, it's randomized again. Same thing happens when you press the chart 3J button. It's always different. And they're pressing the first J button, alphabetical once again. Okay, so now I'm just going to go quickly explain as to what the shuffle check method does in my sorting class, which is found in the tools package here in my project. So, the whole point of the shuffle check method is to see if my list of names here, the string array of names, it's check to see if it's been shuffled or not. This is a global variable set to true after my shuffle method has been executed. So, as you can see at the bottom of the shuffle method here, which randomly organizes the string array of names, at the end of this method's completion, we get the boolean has been shuffle method set to true. Now, if this has been set to true, then a dialog message appears asking the user if they want to randomize again. If they do, then you get to see the seats, JLabel seats, those 35 seats, getting the text set to the shuffled array names. So the index 0, or whatever the index is, as it's looped through the for array, is set to the indices value, or the index value, from the string alpha names array. The only difference between the else part of this if statement and the if part of this if statement is that if the array hasn't been shuffled, in this case has been shuffled equals false, then the names are still set to the string array of names are still set to the seat objects, but the dialog prompt isn't prompted. So you wouldn't see this the first time we press on that chart 2 or chart 3 J button object. Okay. Well, thank you for listening. That concludes my presentation of the code here, and well, I hope you have a nice day.
Hi there, my name is Hayden de Benedictis. I am from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and this is my computer science internal assessment. So it's an NBA stats leaderboard. So what this does is it lets you input single game player stats. So insert a player name, an image file, minutes played, points, assists, and rebounds, and then it will show up over here. And so you can enter an image file here. We go to where the pictures are stored. This is using the file handler class. I'll go more in depth about that in 1 second. So we've got Steph Curry. So look at Curry. Picture there, name, minutes played. He played 32 minutes last game. So he put up 28 points. Also picking up 6 assists and 3 rebounds, and enter the stat, and it will show up, and the stats will show up over here. And why it only shows these is because so it gets the variables from the text box, and then it creates a list called stats list, and then it adds the stats of points, assists, and rebounds to that list. And then this is the list that will make it appear down here. And then we go back here. And then when you click Save Player, the stats will show up over here. So that way, the name isn't showing up in stats along with the minutes played. So when you create the player class here, it will show off the file, it will save the file, the minutes played, and the players as a parameter, as well as the stats list. We send the whole list through, not just the individual stats. And then we go here to toString, which will show off the player here, the minutes played here, and then it will output the stats here for points, assists, and rebounds. And then you can edit the selected player, and then it'll all show up here. You can hit clear fields, which deletes everything. And then what you can do now is you can open a list. And this is using the file handler class I was talking about. So you go into here, you select a previously made list, and then everything that you previously inputted will show up here. And using the file handler class, you can save things as well, which I could get into. And then you can open files here, so it goes into all your files, and you select the one you want, and then it will show up here. So you can, and then using these features over here, you can search for player stats. So say we search, you can search for a name, you can search for a stat of, say, 23. And then Russell Westbrook would appear. That would be his 23 points. And as I showed, you can edit the player. You can also sort the players. This would just sort them alphabetically. They're already in alphabetical order, but yes. And then you can also delete players from this. So say you want to delete Durant, delete selected player, yes. And then you can enter a new one. So we can enter Durant again. Pictures. Durant, player. Kevin Durant. Minutes played, he played. So he played heavy minutes, 35. But he put up, he played more than that. So he played 38 minutes. We'll say he put up 55 points. 5 assists. And as well as 5 rebounds. 2 rebounds. So enter that. And then you can also say you made a mistake. You can delete these stats down here. So delete that. Delete that from this list down here. Say he actually put up 6 rebounds. You can enter that. So there we go. And then save that over there. And then just approves, sorts the players here. So in alphabetical order, as I've said, and you can delete players, edit them, and then you can also save the list, as I have shown, to custom office templates, and we'll just call it NBA list, and then save it, and that would be my project. Thank you for watching.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Hacko from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and this is my Computer Science 42S IB IA demonstration video. So, I have built a program that I call Music Guru, and what this what this program does, is it allows the user to import sheet music and then input the note and rest data of the music, and then have that turned into a convenient list that lets you view all of it in one place. So let's go and select the sheets. Here, let's just grab this one, the Super Mario Bros. 1985 Starman theme. So let's go to sheet setup. We have 3 dialog boxes, text boxes here, and they are number of measures, beats per measure, and name. So for name, we can just go and call it Starman theme. You can realistically put whatever you want in there. I'm going to put Starman theme. Number of measures, what you would do here is count how many measures there are and input that. I'm going to put 2 for time's sake, And then beats per measure, you would read the time signature. I'm going to put a 4 because that is how many beats we have per measure in this piece. So as you can see, we come to the treble clef note input thing. So we're solely dealing with the top line. So as you can see, we start off here with a interval of quarter notes. The interval, you will click, or I guess check the box there, and then go from bottom to top of the interval with F4 as the bottom note. We will click quarter note because that is the value, and then C5 on top, quarter note, confirm. And now we have quarter note, F4, quarter note, C5, interval. So for the rest of it, let's just go, we have another quarter note interval, confirm, another quarter note interval. Now here we have just a eighth note, and then with the interval again, we will go F4, eighth note, C5, eighth note, confirm. So that is, as you can see, works with the eighth notes as well, and that is the first measure. And let's just say that the next measure is a rest. So as you can see right here, this updated, this is the data directly from the linked list storing all of this. So it inputs it right there for you to see. Let me hit next. Everything pushed over because I guess it updated this because there was not enough room, which is definitely a bug that could be fixed in the future. But now we have the bass clef input screen, which is now the bottom line of notes. So we're going to go through the same process. Here we have a quarter note, quarter rest, quarter note, eighth rest, eighth note. And then let's just say we have a whole rest for the next one. So now we hit next. That is done, theoretically, for the parameters we inputted, and then you can click it right here, and you can hit view selected, and then you get all of the data right there. So let's clear this and select a new sheet. Let's go with these two. This is the main theme for Super Mario Bros., the overworld theme. As you can see here, there's 2 pages, so you can toggle between them right there. And let's just jump right into the setup. So again, for time's sake, we're going to do 2 measures. Beats per measure, let's look at there, it is 4 beats per measure. And then name, we're going to call this Zoo, which will make sense after this. So there's also other options. This is not reflected in the actual sheet music there, but we can go here to triplet. And triplets work the exact same as the interval. You go half note, and then let's just another one, half note, confirm that. And now we have the 2 triplets there, and we can also do the same thing with a triplet interval. So we can go half note, and then half note, confirm, and now we have an interval triplet. And then again, there's the raw data on the left side. So now that we have the interval triplets there, we can go to the next, and then let's just say there's 2 whole rests. The reason we put half notes and it managed to fill up the full measure was because of how triplets work. Half note triplet would be equal to 4 beats. So then we can go in here now. As we can see, it brings us now, because we're at the second page again, it pushed everything over a little bit. So we can go 2 measures again, and now we're doing the second page, and we would just rinse and repeat. So let's say we have 2 whole notes there, up, up, next, and as you can see, it adds them nicely to the linked list, and then we are done there. So we can select this one as well, view that one, and now we get all of the information for that. We have all the treble clefs, this is page 1, this is page 2, separated by these, and then we have the bass clef separated by these for the pages. Now what we can do here is we can also sort them. So they're actually already in sorted order. I meant to do it the other way, but if you were to hit the sort sheets, it would, and Zoo was at the top, it would have switched them around. So then we can actually go search as well. And let's say we had a whole bunch of them. We hit Zoo, and there we go, it selects it for us. But let's say you want to save this list. Well, you can go save there. Let's put this just in my D storage, and let's call this test. So now we have that saved. And let's delete both of these. There we go. And if we hit open sheet list to here, test, they both pop back up, and we can now view them once again. And that is the project. Thank you for listening, and that is all.
Hello there. My name is Gavin Lumsden, and this is my grade 12 computer science internal assessment. I go to Sturgeon Heights Collegiate. My teacher is Lawrence Walks, Mr. Walks. And yeah, here's the internal assessment. It's very simple. It's called Video Game Database. You can enter the name, author, release date, and genre of a game. You press create. Obviously, I have nothing in there, and it gets displayed here. You can output the database. Obviously, there's nothing right now. You can clear that box. You can search by a name. You can just enter something in there. You can sort by a property of a game. You can save the database. You can delete the new database. You can open the database. We have nothing in there right now, so it's not going to open anything. And you can delete the saved database. So we can jump right in ahead here and start entering some games. I made this for my friend Kevin because he loves playing video games, and I know he has so many that he's definitely lost count of how many he has, and it's hard to keep track of them, so I figured I'd make this for him so he can organize himself a little better. So as you see, I entered the details of the video game called Overwatch. That is his favorite game to play, and you see we have our list here. So if we keep entering information, obviously I want to speed this process up a little. Then you see the more that we display, the more they get, or the more we enter, the more they get displayed down here. Yes, so we can, there's another little function here, we can clear those boxes. Yes, so we can clear this output box, we can open the database, as I said before. We're searching, we use the linear search for this. Enter the name of the game, let's look for Overwatch. And as you see, we found Overwatch. Overwatch is a game created in May 2016 by Blizzard Entertainment, and it is a first-person shooter game. We can search for, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we will find this. It doesn't make much sense, obviously, but if you were to enter it correctly, it would. And we can sort by, let's say, name. Yes, so as you see, we have alphabetically ordered, organized, sorted. Sorry, waking up early in the morning. We can sort by genre. That's not how you spell genre. There we go. And you see it is in alphabetical order. Yeah, that's about it there. So we can save this database here. You can sort by any property. Yes, we can save the database. So if we were to delete this and open, we'd see we have the same thing. If we were to delete it and output, there is nothing there. But if we were to open, clear, and output, then you see we would have our list here. So if we were to delete this and delete the saved, when we open it, we get the error message because there's nothing there. If we were to just type in some things here, save it, close the program, run it again, and open, you see we have the same list. And that is about it. Very simple, didn't want to do anything too fancy because I want him to be able to understand what he's doing. So as you see, we use the NetBeans built-in designer here to build our program. We use buttons and labels and all that. Not much to the code here. The main bulk of the code is in the engine class because that's what really controls the user interface. You see when we're searching, we use our linear search. When we're sorting, we use our bubble sort, and there's lots of error checking involved to make sure it's foolproof, we can't break it, like getting an input, there's a lot there. And moving on to our searching and sorting, you see we have a wide variety of algorithms we could use, but I used the bubble, which should be right up here. I modified it so we could sort by author or genre or release date or name. For a search, I only used the linear, but there are some other options here. Numbers, I don't really use it. It's just mainly used for this file handler class, which was created by my teacher. I just use it for file management. So it's pretty simple. You save and we use the writers, and we did go into it in class, so we understand what we're doing at least. But we have lots of try catch blocks and stuff to make sure when you got that error message that it wasn't crashing the program, opening and stuff and all that. Moving on to the linked list. This was created by me, but in class, so it's a lot to it. We have lots and lots of methods. I obviously don't use them all. It's just really simple storing a list of the game class, which is also just a pretty simple class. Main class is nothing fancy, just going into the UI, sets the engine, instantiates the objects that we need. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Manitoba, Canada, and I'm going to walk you through my IA. So the first thing that comes up is the startup screen. Pressing exit would cause the program to end, and pressing next brings you through the opening text. One of my minimum success requirements was having a disclaimer that this was only meant to supplement mental health and not replace treatment, so that's included here. Once you get through the opening text, you get to the main screen, and here up on the left, you navigate through the several functions. So the first one is a quotes tab. Pressing this button will display another random quote. I wanted it to be random so that the users wouldn't see the same quotes in the same order every time they started the program. Basically, I just tested it by coding it and then seeing if the button, in fact, worked. This tab was also another minimum success requirement, so it's for using if you're having a panic attack. It's meant to reground you and make you see the world that you're actually in, rather than thinking about the problem that you're suffering through. So the first prompt here is reach out and touch 5 things you can see. So as you find them, you click I found one and a number will appear. So my laptop, my phone, my scrunchie, glass of water, and my book. So once the 5th one has been clicked, a new prompt comes up, and there's a bunch of them that also randomly appear that you can cycle through. The 3rd tab was an expected success criteria. So there's actually 2 of them, and the first one is Hangman. So you just press start, and then a word is randomly generated between 3 and 9 letters. So I'm just going to play the game here, guess some letters. If you win the game's count goes up by 1, just to keep tally of how many games you've won in the session. Interesting. So I won the game, and the game count went up. Otherwise, you lose if all of the body parts of the man appear on the side there. So the word was T, I didn't get it, and my game count didn't go up. Over here, you can play rock, paper, scissors. So you can pick anywhere from 1 round to best of 7. I'm going to go with best of 3. I just pick rock, paper, scissors, and the text boxes up here show the current game statistics, and the images over here just show what I picked and what the computer has picked. So when I was originally testing this, I found a logic error in that the game continued for the full number of rounds, but as you can see, it's now, once someone has won the majority, the game ends. Additionally, when I was testing this, just by doing things that the user potentially would do and wouldn't do, I ended up finding out that the last letter that was clicked would remain enabled for the next game, so I fixed that as well. The last function here is making journal entries. So on the left, this is where the user enters the information. So let's say it's May 6th, just for fun. And usually you click a mood, but I'm not going to right this second. I'm just going to say, hi. If I press submit now, it realizes that I haven't filled all the fields and tells me to select it, and then I can resubmit. However, I could also enter an invalid date, example April 31st, and it'll tell me to enter a valid date and continue. We're going with June now. That's fine. So I submitted. June 31st does not exist. Now I've submitted it. So I can come over here and I can see the entries that have been made. I've already made 2 before that are saved to the file. I can view them. Hi, so it shows up. This is the first one. If I want to, I can also edit the entries. So that'll come back up here on the left. So I can say, hi, I'm making a video. I could also change my mood if I wanted to. Now I'm feeling great, and I can resubmit. And then I can go here, and another thing I can do, I don't have to press C entry, the user doesn't have to, but I can also delete it. And as you can see, it's been deleted from the list and from the file, so there's only 2 left. So some extensions on this project would be potentially, it was pointed out by someone that Hangman potentially isn't the best game to have on a de-stressing program. Otherwise, I'd like to add more games like word searches or tic-tac-toe, and I feel like that would be a good addition to the project. So the last tab here, just exit, click the button, and the program ends.
Hello, my name is Darwin and I am from Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada. For my computer science IA, I have decided to create a game which is titled Space Force City Defender. Upon starting the game, a main menu is displayed with buttons labeled Start and Instructions. If we click on Instructions, a message pops up telling the user to defend the city. Below are the keyboard keys that we will use to control the player's drone. Upon clicking the Start button, the game begins. If I turn off the HUD, we can clearly see the player's drone sitting on the ground. Pressing W will propel it upwards. Pressing S will cause it to fall. A and D will rotate the drone left and right. If I turn on the HUD, I can see several blips on the minimap. Flying towards them will bring the enemies into view. The goal of this game is to defend the city from the enemies coming from above. If all enemies on the map are destroyed, then a new wave starts, which means that more will arrive. As the waves progress, the enemies become faster and the difficulty increases. I have stopped fast forwarding to show an important gameplay mechanic. After shooting my lasers at these 2 enemies, I have noticed that I am low on ammunition. To replenish the drone's lasers, I must land on the ground. With my newly loaded ammunition, I can continue shooting at the enemies. After a couple of waves, we can begin to see that some of the enemies are significantly faster than others. At the start of a new wave, one of the enemies was too fast and managed to land on the city. On the minimap, I can see one of the blips touching the ground, which is the enemy that I was unable to catch. A game over message pops up telling me that the city has been invaded by the enemies. It also tells me my final score. Pressing OK brings me back to the main menu screen. The product's code consists of several classes. The main class creates the menu where the user can see the title screen and its components. The game panel class detects player inputs, performs calculations, and renders shapes. There is also the drone class and enemy class, which contain constructors and store important variables. Both of these classes implement the abstract locator class, which contains a few methods for storing their coordinates. Lastly, there is the audio player class, which plays sound effects. If we compare the product to the basic success criteria, we can see that there is a main menu present. The keyboard is used to control the player. I have also added concepts which I have learned from my lessons. Comparing the product to the standard criteria, the product works properly on the client's computer after a few tests. The code is also commented to let him understand the concepts which were used. Comparing the product to the best case criteria, I did not add any high score table. This will be added as a future improvement. That is all that my IA has to offer. Thanks for watching.
Hello, my name is William Gore. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. My teacher is Mr. Watts, and today I'm going to be showing you my Computer Science 42 SIB internal assessment. So, a couple months ago, I was approached by one of my friends who is the leader of a Call of Duty clan, which is like a team of sorts, and he asked me to make him a program that would allow him to manage the members of the clan, view members, delete members, add new members, things like that. So I decided to build a program to do that. For the UI, I used JFrame forms. I designed the background and buttons here myself. I also made a separate form for displaying members and displaying their weapons. I used a class called globals to act like global variables. So I used one default constructor, and when it's called, it just makes this class into an object in whatever class in which it's called, and it automatically builds these two variables within it that can be accessed via accessor methods here. So let's run the program. As you can see, you can add new members, so we'll just add a couple right quick. As you can see, when you add a member, you can choose the member's specialty and then their specific weapon. So we'll just add one more. We'll go with, for their specialty, we'll just go with, doesn't really matter, but just so you can see that you can do that. You can now view the members. They come up in the order in which they were added, so doesn't matter who we look at. You can see their name here, their specialty here, their weapon of choice. You can click on that and view more about that, its class, and its fire rate. We can also remove a member, so let's go with just Billy. Remove Billy, yep. And then, as you can see, Billy is removed. You add a new member, and when this member is added, it will take the place Billy was once in. And that's the program. Very easy to use, simple UI, fulfilled the needs of the client. Thank you for watching.
Hello, I am Thomas Williston from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And for my computer science IA, I have made a diabetes management program. As a diabetic, I need to monitor my blood sugar, take blood readings, and compared to that to how many carbohydrates I've been consuming and how much insulin I'm taking, my daily doses, and as they both increase and decrease it respectively. And I need to try and keep my blood sugar within manageable levels. So this program helps to do that. It allows me to log various data points and see which were above the safe threshold, or which data points were within the threshold. And it tells me how many points this week have been highs above and lows below. And I can scroll through the weeks. I've only really logged the
this week in the past week, but and then I can switch to days and see on a daily basis what my readings have been and take a closer look at them. And then I can skip through them faster using these buttons, which skip 3 days at a time. And yeah, and then this also updates to show what's been happening on that day specifically. And then I have this list here of all of the data points that I've entered, and it allows me to see various things. Like if I look at the week and I see this point here was rather high, I can go and that was at the end of the 24th, so I can edit it and see I added a little bit of information there saying that I had overcorrected with the amount of carbs that I had consumed. And if I wanted to, I could make some changes here, but I don't need to. And then I can look at the day before that and see how many carbs I took, like, compared to the amount of insulin. So, and then like I know that I shouldn't be consuming that much when I'm taking that amount of insulin. And then if I wanted to add a new data point, say April 26, hours, it was something 6.0. Add that, and it will update the graph and place it there. And if I decide that in fact that data point is not correct and that I want to remove it, I can select it from the list and delete it. Verify that I want to do that, and I can confirm. And so this program allows me to it makes it much easier to manage my diabetes. And this graph I made myself. There's some code that allows me to get different scales for the ratios between the amount of time, so if I'm switching from days to weeks, or if I add more data points. Like if I added a data point which goes higher than is currently shown on the graph, say I had a really high number, like 30. If I add that, it will shift down the graph and rescale everything to accommodate for that data point. I can remove it again, and everything goes back to normal. And I also implemented some permanent storage features, so if I were to go in here and take, say I thought that this value was, that I actually inputted it wrong, I can change that, it goes down, and then if I close the program and launch it again, that modified value has stayed, and any changes that are stayed. So now I can go and put it back. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Hi, my name's Yaniv, and I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I made a game for my IA, and it's just a simple game called Robot Escape. There's a help screen if you need to understand. I made it because my client might not know how to play the game. So it's very simple. You are just a robot trying to escape this facility. You move with the arrow keys and you can shoot with the spacebar. So when you get into the line of sight, these enemies will start attacking you. So you want to make sure they don't hit you. and you shoot these bullets with the space, they die, you can move on, and when you just touch the doors, they bring you to the next level. So sometimes, if you hit these black pits, it will kill you and it will restart the level. The same if you touch an enemy. So I'm just going to skip ahead to level 6. That is the last level. You can go. For the level 6, you must grab this key to get out, and you will win. If you do not grab the key, it does not let you escape. The door just doesn't do anything. You collide with it, but it won't let you. You must first get the key, and then you can escape. So I'm particularly proud of this code. It's used a lot, and it's just the way I refined it and the way I made it look. I feel like it works really well the way it does. And I think incorporating linked lists for the bullets and for the floors and stuff was a good choice, because of I don't know how much I need to make, so using array, it really restricts of the amount of like bullets I can make, the amount of floors I can make this way, the amount of labels I can make this way. I can just easily add however many floors I need, however many enemies, however many line of sights, or bullets. Um, but that's it. Thanks for watching.